The greatest power you possess is your ability to choose. Join Lowe's Moore as he reveals how you can begin to maximize that power by exploring yourself on the deepest levels and committing to making lasting and positive changes. Get ready to achieve breakthroughs that will lead to accelerated growth and transformation, because you are now tuned in to the Blueprint.
Why the actions contradict the lamb. I'm fellowshipping when I'm with the fam. That's more relations, that's forming a phone.
Good evening and welcome back to the Blueprint. This is Lowe's Moore, and I'm excited to be back with you guys for another week. I want to say once again, thank you for your support each and every Sunday. It's been amazing. I'm truly enjoying your comments. I get an opportunity to see individuals on the street, particularly in Westchester, New York, and people say, "Oh, I've been watching the Blueprint, and man, you're doing a real good job, man." I'm really being blessed by the guests and the conversation, and so I want to just say thank you for that. Thank you for your support. Thank you that we could be a help to during the course of this pandemic and all the things that are going on with the elections and all those different things, that we could be a calming effect in the midst of some of these storms and give us an opportunity to weather some things and learn some things. So here I am. This is a little basketball here. This is a pebble, right? This is a pebble. It's a little basketball. It's a pebble. And each week I drop this. And I believe that this show is going to give off a ripple effect, right? You throw a pebble in the pond, you get a ripple effect. You never know the impact of your life, your words, and the impact that they may have, right? And sometimes you may say something, do something, but you won't see the results of it till somewhere down the road. So I'm going to drop this seed because we believe that tonight's show is going to give a ripple effect, and that individuals are going to be blessed by it. Remember, this is the Blueprint podcast, and it's for personal and lifestyle development. And we deal each week with the 7 spheres of influence, lifestyle 7 spheres of influence. You know, we may be on topics like religion and relationships, family, education, government and law, business, finance. We may be dealing with media, sports, arts, and entertainment, and we just want to cover the multitude of things that impact our lives, and that we deal with each and every single day. Every week, we start out with the book of the week, and this week's book of the week is by Bob Proctor. We Were Born Rich. I mean, very powerful book. I love Bob Proctor. You know, I've been given a few of his affirmations on the show, and I just love this guy. He's been at it for a long time, deals with the law of attraction, and, you know, just a very, very powerful book. I believe that I've been born rich, and sometime I believe I've been born wealthy, right? Sometimes it's not in, yes, it's in material things, it's in resources, but man, you can have all the resources in the world, but if you don't have your health, right, the resource doesn't matter. But if you got your health and you got the resources, right, and then you know what to do with the resources, that is wealth. And also wealth is, while you're sleeping, your resources continue to grow and to make money. And so I wish that for everybody. I pray that everybody will become wealthy in their spirit, wealthy in their mind, and wealthy in their body. And this week, and Bob Proctor talks about this all the time, we have a word of the week, and the word of the week is affirmation, right? That's the word of the week. And for me, you know, if you're a Christian, you know, you hear some people say, or in religion, sometimes they use scriptures, you know, like I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. That you get up in the morning and you say, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me, is an affirmation. And you keep saying it over and over again because you believe that God will help you. On the other side of it, you can use affirmation, to, like, I had one when I was playing ball, and that affirmation was, every time I got jittery, every time I felt fear, I would always think of one word called smooth. And when I thought about that word smooth, my whole game would just get nice and smooth, right? I could see myself like, sitting on the water and watching the waves smoothly going by. I would put myself in that mindset, right? Smooth affirmations, right? Look up some affirmations, Bob Proctor, a lot of the motivational speakers use these affirmations, and you should use an affirmation every single day. And so speaking of affirmations, I had Hill Harper on, and I want to give you a couple of affirmations from Hill. And this is the Hill and Pierce Harper's affirmation moment. And every day with his 4-year-old son, he goes over these different affirmations. And this one says, difficulty does not determine my destination. I love that. And if you were watching the show the week before last, Hill's son was just quoting these affirmations out, spitting them out, man, just easy. And when you get your young children to talk about, I'm great already, I was born great, right? It's an awesome thing. And then I have one more for you, and this is a Bob Proctor one, right? And it says, he always says, I'm so happy and grateful that now that I have made a decision to shift my paradigm so that I can attract the good I desire into my life by rising to its frequency. Rising to its frequency. We live life on a frequency, right? When you're feeling down, the frequency is low. When we're feeling up, we increase that frequency. Sometimes we can watch a show. Sometimes we can hear a word. Sometimes we can listen to music. It can make us sad. It can make us happy. It changes our frequency, right? And that's important. And so finally, I got a couple of shout outs. I want to give a shout out to my dad. Last week he passed away a few years ago. Rest in peace. It was his birthday, and I wanted to give him a quick shout out, right? You can never forget your parents, alive or dead. You should remember them. And then happy birthday to my granddaughter, Amaya. Yep. Pop loves you. And, she's a big girl now, and I'm excited for her. She had a wonderful birthday, even in spite of the pandemic. And then finally, last night, I want to say congratulations to Stephen Poe and Sherelle Moore, my daughter Sherelle. They got engaged last night. So we had a little engagement party for them. It was a surprise. She didn't know. And but it was just a great time. And my oldest daughter got married last year, had a grandson in June, and now I got another one. My youngest daughter, I kind of felt that one, man. Your first one goes, but your youngest one, well, that's the way it goes. Raise them, and hopefully they find their soulmates, they find their best friends, they find somebody they can spend the rest of their life with, and be blessed and raise a family. And then, so now we want to enter into, get to our guest for this evening. And we want to start out by playing one of his highlights, and then we will introduce him to the show, and we will jump right in it. Mike, welcome, man.
Hey, what up, man? What's good?
Man, every time I hear that, that's so awesome, man. Man, you had a whole stadium just just going bananas. I like that, man.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I know you tired, man. You've been traveling.
Yeah.
But man, thanks for taking the time out, man. I just let me just say I really appreciate you.
Oh, it's love, man.
Yeah, being from Mount Vernon, and we had golf events for the Boys and Girls Club, and man, you didn't hesitate whenever you had the opportunity and the space to come up to the club and hang out with us, man. And you just been gracious, man. And I just appreciate you. We have some things in common, like we both from Mount Vernon, right? We both graduated from Mount Vernon High School. We went to the Boys and Girls Club. And I just truly appreciate you, man. I do.
Well, 4 squares, you know how we do.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So tell me what you've been, a little bit before the pandemic and during the course of the pandemic, what you've been doing.
Well, pre-pandemic, my album dropped January 20th, which was a good time because I was on the road promoting it. I was all over the place, and I was on the road for about 2 months until Rona said, "Go home." Record has done and still doing extremely well. I got a lot of features on it. This usually my Mike Phillips albums is just about me and the sax, but this particular record, I wanted to kind of like invite the musical community that that I have respect for, that I love, and I just want to be an album of brother and sisterhood. So Stevie Wonder's on it, Brian McKnight, my brother Raheem Devon, Eric Robeson, Leela James, Avery Sunshine, a cappella group, internationally known, Naturally Seven. Who else? Naturally. Whoa, I'm telling you, it's so many people I can't even remember. It's crazy, but I'm happy that everybody got together and do it, and here we are right now, still grinding in the pandemic. I do a lot of virtual things, which was a learning curve because I had to go to ECAM University and get lighting and green screens and all of that. But hey, I do so much content for the private sector and the people that would hire me, or the people that switched over their content to virtual, and it fares well because I don't got to get on a flight. All I got to do is wake up, brush my teeth, pop up the green screen, get my songs ready. I play them, and I have to go through TSA. So it is a interesting dynamic that allows me to totally take advantage of the moment that virtual is creating for everyone if you can reinvent and pivot towards what's really happening.
Yeah, which album is the new one?
Pulling Off the Covers.
Pulling Off the Covers. I gotta get that one, man.
You sure do. You up here interviewing me. Don't even got the new record?
No, because I've been listening to a few of I got the other albums.
Oh yeah, I know you do. I'm only playing with you.
Yeah, I got the other albums, but I got to get this one here.
Yeah, Pulling Off the Covers is brand new.
Yeah, so when I get off tonight, I'm just going to get one.
That's what's up.
Yeah, definitely, without a doubt, man. I gotta support. So these shows have been very interesting, and so talk to me a little bit about the importance of family, how you grew up, mom, dad, and then just take me right into now you grown, man. You grown and a father. So tell me a little bit about the importance of family, the power of family.
Well, my mother, she had me in the States. She lived in Mount Vernon. When she had me, she lived on 17 Tecumseh Avenue.
Yes.
And then my mother was older. She was like in her, early 40s, like around 30, 39ish, 40. So at that time, Mount Vernon Hospital was like, we ain't going to deliver that. You're going to have to go to Mount Sinai, because they specialize in, because back in those days, it was taboo to have a child 40, nine-ish. So even though Mount Vernon is, where my mother, started her life coming from Jamaica, I was actually born, a lot of people don't know, Mount Sinai Hospital.
Wow.
Manhattan. So, every time I want to copy my birth certificate, I gotta go down to the city, man. You can just go to City Hall and they just print it up for you right there. Mount Vernon City Hall is nice and easy.
Right.
My father passed away in a car accident when I was young. So my mother, you talk about holding it down. She worked at Wartburg Nursing Home, and highly respected, highly loved. Miss Violet Phillips, who just celebrated a birthday, would have been her 86th birthday on November the 3rd.
Wow.
So,
happy birthday.
We were voting and celebrating day at the same time. So her, holding it down, it showed me determination, responsibility, and how those things can kind of like carry over into your own fatherhood, which is extremely important, because there's a saying, they'll be what they see.
Yes.
But if you don't see it, then it's gonna be harder for you to have those examples of real-time parenthood to manifest itself into your parenthood. So it is a generational hand down. That's why you see some families that are strong and some families that are fragmented, because what's handed down from the previous generation is something that's, you can't even put a value on it when the family is together, or you guide yourself from those philosophies of how being together is extremely important and how it's going to have a profound effect on your fatherhood.
It's powerful, man. Yeah. And so yeah, talk to me a little bit about did you have other siblings, or was it just you?
Yeah, I had one brother, 3 sisters, and
how was that?
A gang of I was the youngest, so even though I was the youngest, I felt like they were like my oldest sister, kind of like was my second mom, because we were so different in age. So she kind of like took care of me. Prim, I love her. That's kind of like my second mom. And but I had great mentors. I mean, especially the community of Mount Vernon, man. Like I had the brothers from the Akbar. I had Larry Spruill.
Yes.
Mr. Alston from when I played Little League. So my mother kept me in so many different things, which exposed me to so many different role models and mentors, where even though the unfortunate aspect of my father not being here because of the tragic accident, what happens is that you have a community that, and it's not like they had a board meeting. Let's sit down because Mike doesn't have his father. No, they just did it because that's what they do. Mr. Alston gave me, I used to live across town, and he used to give me a ride home. Like, like everybody, look at the Boys and Girls Club. Everybody just, they stepped in without making it a big deal.
Right.
Because when communities are woven together like that so tightly, that work isn't something that you know, that you just don't talk about it. You just do it. It's kind of like Stacey Abrams right now. You have what I call, how can I put them, social justice celebrities.
Yeah.
Where, you know, everything has to be on the gram, and, you know, you get on CNN, you have your one-liners, then you got your social media team, they post it and make it look pretty and then put it out, and you get likes and followers, blah, blah, blah. But when is the time when Stacey Abrams lost, and what she did is she just rolled up her sleeves and got to work? See, so that's what Mount Vernon was like for me, as constantly giving me inspiration and mentorship. Wasn't anything to talk about or kind of like put out there. They just did it.
Yeah.
So when you look at our community now, we have so many avenues for people to say, look at me. You know, you turn on the camera and all of a sudden, here we go. The show has begun. But the real work happens quietly. Rolling up your sleeves, getting these kids to have a different mindset from what they were handed down generationally. So it's bigger than just constantly creating a entertainment driven legacy, which our soon to be ex-president was all about, and we bought into it. It was an entertainment fulfilled legacy, which had everything to do with perceived value and not actual value. So now, how do we not get into that trap? We roll up our sleeves and we get with these kids. The camera don't have to be rolling. It's okay. It's okay. As long as the work is getting done. I think, going back to Stacey Abrams, that is a quintessential example of rolling up your sleeves, putting the gram down, and making sure the work gets done. And when you look at it, 800,000 people, they get registered, and that changes the whole dynamic of engagement. So when you look at people that have that mentality, I can tell you right now that the mentors in my life had that same mentality. They just did what they had to do to make sure the kid that had all of this potential can one day make good choices where his talent will eventually come to fruition, along with the character that needs to be built along with the talent.
Well, yeah, and for me, you know, we grew up in the same Boys and Girls Club and same boys club, and you know, many people, as you know, yourself included, you know, gifted, you know, saxophonists, artists, and me playing basketball and so many others. It wasn't just basketball or football or baseball, but you know, you had so many people that became lawyers and doctors and teachers, and the thing was, when I went to the boys club, they never said, "Hey man, one day you're gonna be a pro, man. You know, you're gonna play pro basketball, man. You good." They didn't say that. The only thing they were looking for me to become was a productive citizen. You know, contribute to the community, right? Graduate from high school, extended education, if possible, if that was in your gifting, or find some kind of trade, or you know, something that you have a gifting in, and be a productive citizen. You know, and for many of us, we found a niche. You know, you found music, I found sports, and we happened to be real good at it. And they gave us, like with our parents, your mom and my mom gave me, was she gave us a character. You said character, the determination, the hard work, and we put our best foot forward and started to go to work. And you are absolutely right. And those are the types of things that we need today. You know,
yeah, shout out to, man, so many people. I'll forget them all. You know, all the brothers from the Akbar, Carlton Sproul, Larry Sproul, Yana Edwards. I remember my mother, you know, My mother was the king of robbing Peter to pay Paul just to keep things in order. So I don't pay this bill this week, and then I'll do this and then do that and then put it all together. So it was sometimes my mother didn't have money for a Razorback uniform. I still needed to play. And, you know, Coach Yana Edwards was like, you know, just go ahead, you know, get him his uniform, you know,
Yeah.
take care of it when you can. And that always resonated with me to the point where anytime I see him, I always tell him thank you, because being on pins and needles, not knowing whether you're going to play football because your mother didn't have $35 or because she had to pay another bill, and you're there and you know you don't have it, and you're just waiting for someone to say, well, if you don't have it, then you can't get your uniform. For me to walk out with that uniform, it at a young age of 12, the level of gratitude that came with always knowing that the community had my back was something that allowed me to know that I had to excel in whatever I chose to do because of the infrastructure that was laid from the community that supported you. So there are people like that all over. I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
love.
No, that's powerful. So talk to me about being a dad, man, because you text me early, say my daughter's flying in, man. You know, we know how it is with family, you know, especially our kids, man.
Yeah,
so how important that is.
Yeah, I just flew in. I'm on family time now, so you know, as soon as I finish this, I will be my daughter's here, and so proud of her. Howard grad,
Ah,
and you know, in the pandemic, she still was able to land a job. She is working at ESPN right now.
man, that's awesome, man.
Straight out of school, Dean's List, Howard University. So keeping her around my two sons, one that's Mike Jr., that's 10, and Tyson. Yeah, I got Mike Tyson. You know, that's really important because they get to see her drive, her education, her success. Seeing if you have some good things happen along with your oldest, then they get to throw the baton to the next kid, and then the platform is already set up for what's expected. No pressure. What's expected can be very different in what you do, but the excellence will not be compromised. So you watch them grow, you understand how different they are, and you guide them and make sure that they flourish. And it's really important that you understand the dynamic of the different personalities. You know, my youngest is like, you know, he'll punch you in your face all day. He's like Mount, you know, the hood in Mount Vernon, the hood side. So I say Mount Tyson is like South Side, and Mike is, you know, he's like by the high school. He's like North Side. It's two different types of, you know, the town is different. You know,
Right.
you know, it's two. You know, Mike is the politician. Tyson just won't punch you in your face. He ain't got no time for that. You know, whatever. So, you know, once you understand them, the father in you allows you to understand them and just give them, you know, the tools that they need to make sure that they are going to live up to their potential. That's all you want. You don't. I don't want to be I don't want to be Matthew Knowles and set up the rehearsal and then put a saxophone in their hand. You know, you got to rehearsal. No, I don't want to be Joe Jackson. What I want to do is give them everything that they can ever imagine to help them fulfill the things that they're going to figure out that's going to be their destiny. Right. I can be the best dad in the world, but one thing I can't do is figure out what God has for them. That's a journey that I need to prepare them for.
Wow. Yeah, and so this is Lowe's Moore, and you're looking at the blueprint. Remember, this is interactive, so if you got any questions, man, make sure you shoot them through, and we'll just we'll see them pop up on the screen, and then we'll just answer them as we go along. So is there anybody, right, who's picked up the musical?
I think my son, my youngest son, he has an intuitive way of in understanding rhythm, but you know, I don't force them. I'm gonna eventually put the sax in their hand, but they ain't gonna be with no, you know, y'all gonna play this right now. I want them to be kids and just have fun and enjoy and get close to the things that they enjoy, and hopefully that will point them in the direction of their gift.
Well, yeah, being Lowesmore, and I had two daughters to start out with, and my wife and I both had full scholarships to college. Both were great high school players, and everybody. When we got married, man, we took a picture in 4th Street Playground. Me, guard, my wife, and everybody said, "Man, we can't wait till they have kids." Like we were just going to, throw a basketball in their hands. But that didn't really happen. Like you say, you got to wait to see. My oldest daughter end up, going into cheerleading. Ran track, played a little basketball, went into cheerleading. And then now she's a principal in the Bronx. And then my youngest daughter grabbed the basketball, and now she went on a full scholarship, and she's a coach at Fairfield University. So, and then both my sons, my youngest son picked up the ball. My oldest son, he could do a little something, but he went into acting, and he can sing, he can do all those things. So he's in California now. So yeah, you got to let them run into their gifting. And I want to make a statement here because I had a slide, the love of music. And, that's one of the things I have. One of the slides said the love of music, and a shout out to music. I mean, I don't really know what I would do without music. I mean, growing up on so many great Motown, singers and just a very powerful influence, from James Brown to I'll start naming names, man. And so if you're out there, please, we should never let music die. Right. We should support music as much as we support anything else in our life. We should support music, and we definitely should support Michael Phillips, man. That without a doubt.
We just getting it in, man.
Yeah. So tell me, how did you get into it? I mean, how did you get into the whole music sax kind of thing? How do you?
Oh, second grade. Had the music teacher at Washington School whose name was Dr. Steinberger. Came by and was like, "Who wants to be in the band?" I just raised my hand because I don't know, there's nothing else to do.
He said nothing else to do. Yeah. I was the guy running. I was like, "Man, you want to be music?" Man, I just couldn't find an instrument I could play. I was trombone, drums, just wasn't good at them, man. But love music.
Is my cam frozen?
Yeah, it froze a little bit. Yeah, it's frozen.
It's not a little bit. It's froze. Froze.
You just smiling, man.
Well, that's a good picture to leave it on.
Yeah.
So how you want to do this? You want
to go out and come back in?
I can go out and come back in, or you can kick me out and then I'll get back in.
Oh, no, you can log out and log back in. So while Mike is taking his camera froze, just music is just such a powerful thing. I mean, it's stated that, young people that pick up all young people have gifts, but, you have niches. Like for me, I don't know if many of you knew this or not, but, before sports, it was art. And so art was my niche, my go-to piece. Love animation. I can almost draw any kind of cartoon, any kind of thing I set my mind to draw. And when me and my wife first got together, I didn't buy cards for her. I drew all the cards, Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, all those characters. and I used to draw them. So that's a very powerful, your niche, look at those niches, because, when I was playing sports, man, and all that stress, or going to college, all that stress was happening to me, I used to get out my art pad, and then that was the only thing that would help me relax. And sometimes before games, big games, I would do a lot of drawing, and love it. I've done some portraits. I took lithographics. I've taken a number of things in regards to drawing, and I still love drawing. I don't do it anymore. I can do it, but whatever God has gifted you with, the ability to write, the ability, because that writing can turn into the ability to write books, to write scripts, to write movie scripts, and you can just do so many things if you have a passion to do writing. If you have a passion to do art, right? You never know where it's going to take you. If you have a love for an instrument, right? If you have a love for an instrument, pick up that instrument and start working with it. Well, Mike is back.
Yo, what up?
Yeah. So yeah, you said 2 years old.
No, second grade.
Second grade. A love for music. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what we would do without music, man. I mean, I'm telling you, I don't know.
We're what you call it? It's kind of like, you know what? We are rhythmic people. Rhythm is a part. We walk with rhythm. We move. We pulsate by rhythm. So it's kind of like, music is just a reflection of the rhythm that we have as people.
Yeah. No. It's a beautiful thing, to have a gift. I always say that everybody is born with a gift and a purpose for that gift.
Yes.
And you certainly, and I love the scripture that says, and your gift will make room for you and bring you before great men.
Yeah. I mean, oh man, Charles Clayton. Oh man. Yo, let me tell you something. When Charlie used to sing in church, man, I just always to be amazed, man. And I talk about those mentors, and I talk about, but I haven't talked about the peers that I've was blessed to be in contact with. And Charles Clayton was one of them, at Emmanuel Church on 5th.
Yeah. I was at Emmanuel for over 30 years. I just went to a different church. My wife is still there. I had a different assignment. She's still there. I love everybody at Emmanuel, and Charlie, of course, was our music director, and still is.
Yeah, man, sing his face off, play the organ, and when I was growing up, when you look up to someone, it just doesn't stop just because you've accomplished whatever you have. So those things always will be what it is. So yeah, shout out to Charles Clayton, man. Like, man, that's
well, let me tell you something. When I first got into the Boys and Girls Club, right, and we had summer camp, Charlie made our camp, right, because he was our music director. And so he would take the kids, and he was a big Michael Jackson fan. And so he's a big Michael Jackson fan. So he'd take all the kids, bring them in the game room, and just start playing music. And then they stopped playing church. They started doing Michael Jackson. I mean, when he left, I was a little hurt. He had to go on, other jobs could pay him a little bit more that we could pay him, and he needed to go on and grow. But he was amazing for the club, man. Music just turned our camp, man. It was amazing to have music in our camp, man. And I can't say enough about music, man. And you know, when it comes to music, man, you run into some individuals, right? I remember when I came to the Michael Jackson. My wife and I came to Michael Jackson. Was it Circus Soleil?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think it was in Philadelphia, and you were playing with Circus Soleil. I was like so excited. Yo, my man Mike is playing Michael Jackson stuff, you know. And so tell us about some of the individuals that you mentioned some earlier, but Prince.
Well, the Cirque du Soleil show was just they wanted to honor Michael properly. So one of the ways you do it is you use the band and the people that played with him. So Greg Phillips, who was Michael's music director, myself, Don Boyette, that played bass, John Clark on guitar, you know. So it was a hodgepodge from all of Michael's bands. History, Bad, Off the Wall. It was like all the OGs was there. So
yeah, I was never so proud of you, man. I was like, that's my man, Mike. He is getting down.
Yeah. So Cirque du Soleil, you know, worked with Prince, and you know, started with Stevie Wonder like in the 90s. So it's been a pleasure. And you know, some people like to, you know, look who I played with, blah blah blah, and the names are cool. But what I've learned is the best. What I learned was the best. So, you know, the names, I love them, and I'm happy that I got to be a part of it. But what I learned from all of them is something that I carry with me every time I pick up that horn. I do a show. Prince was a total guy that was into everything, from how your music sound to what you look like. Michael was all about presentation and his perfection, and Stevie, the music had to feel right. So all of their geniuses had something to do with what drove them to be as great as they are. So for me to raise my hand in Washington school and say that I want to just join the band and not really know why, to saying that I've worked with Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, and Prince, you just can't make it up. You can't.
Well, you know, it's just like you know, when I got drafted by the Nets, and after many years of looking at, you know, Dr. J changed the NBA, changed the whole image of the NBA from your methodical kind of basketball into this entertainment world. And then I walk out my rookie year, in our first game, we played the 76ers, and Dr. J mentioned my name. Hey, Lowe's, how you doing? Like that. I didn't even know he knew my name, you know, but to experience Dr. J, to play against Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, and, you know, and then on my way out on my career with Michael Jordan, you know, to play against Mike, to see an evolution of the game, you know, taking Dr. J to that next level. And yeah, I get it, man. I mean, one time I was I'm sure you were there too, but at the NBA All-Star game in New York, and Michael, you know, Michael was playing. And the night before, we went into the MSG, the little auditorium there. And they said, now coming to the stage, Stevie Wonder. I mean, I was like, I don't even have to see the All-Star game no more. There's Stevie Wonder right there in front of me, man. You know, that's an All-Star by himself. So I get it. Yeah, man. So that's awesome, man. So yeah, man. And then I see you got the Jordan brand, you know, the Jordan on your hat. And so are you still the only musician signed by the Jordan brand?
No, I think they picked up a couple. I think Drake was with them for a while, a couple other people, yeah. But I do retain the fact that I was the first ever musician signed to Nike and Jordan. So, you know,
And
Michael.
you had your own shoe.
Yeah, the Air Jordan 17 was built from the inspiration of jazz and music, and had some music notes on it. So, when I look back, that's a whole different kind of can of worms right there. Like, you know, how do you play the sax, but all of a sudden your influence is on one of the greatest basketball shoes that ever built, the Air Jordan. So the Air Jordan 17, it was influenced by jazz improvisation, and I wrote a song for Michael that those notes are actually on the shoe. So I just, I'm still in awe.
Yeah, man. And it's just awesome, man, to see what God could do for us. And many times on the show, I always ask a few questions like the importance of family, because I think during the pandemic and all the things that is happening, in the world today, man, if you can't stand on family, and I wrote in my book, From the Boys and Girls Club to the NBA, Life on the Narrow Road, the power and importance of family means so much to me.
Yeah.
And then when you think about now the use of our giftings, right? But how I think there was another question. It was a question up there. Can you pop that back up there for me real quick? So it says, what other instruments can you play other than a sax?
Bass. I dabble with keyboards, but yes, bass. A lot of people don't know I played in Mount Vernon High School. I played bass in the orchestra, and I was the first one in New York State to make it on all state orchestra and all state band on 2 different instruments.
Wow.
From Mount Vernon High School.
Mount Vernon High School. Yeah, they're doing their best right now. I don't know about the music side of it, but I know that they launched in the Nellie Thornton High School. They just named the auditorium after Felicia Rashad. And now they have inside of it the Denzel Washington School of Theater inside of it.
That's very important at Mount Vernon. It's a breeding ground for greatness in the arts. I speak to you because one of the people that came from there, Mr. Stamboni, taught there for years, and Norma Lisa Thomas, who I used to wake up early in the morning, 7 o'clock, and she used to open up the band room early just so I can get an hour of practicing before school started. So I was waking up to get to school at like around 6:30 to walk to school. Miss Thomas would just be setting up and doing her thing, and I'd just be practicing there. So another one of those mentors that really shift the paradigm in the whole aspect of why I am where I am today. So Norma Lisa Thomas is still heading up the endeavors as far as the arts are concerned in Nellie Thornton School. So any way that I can support, and I told them that I absolutely will. So just seeing that investment, because again, here we go. Those instruments were there for me because the municipal funds were there, and people realizing the importance of it. So when you take out music out of the schools, and then Mount Vernon being a breeding ground, then we're eliminating the chances of us getting the next Stevie Wonder.
Yes.
The next Michael. And how profoundly have those people affected the world through their music? So, you know, instead of giving up on music, and I love sports. I love it. Cool. People play sports and then all of a sudden they don't make it and then they don't play no more. People, you know, play in band and they learn and then they go on. But what lessons are you learning from the music? Number one, this new generation of thinking that you're just going to be good overnight. I practice the same phrases over and over in every key. So I got to practice. So there's no way around it. And I think if you don't have repetition with understanding the importance of practice, what happens is that you're setting yourself up for a mirage of things that will not, you know, there're just certain things that won't happen in your life if you don't understand that you're going to have to work hard. You know, repetition, practice. You see, so music does that. So when you want to be that lawyer or that doctor, that same repetition and practice that you needed to play that piece will be required from you in something else. So that's why it's important to get it through music.
Right. Yeah. And this right now is really a learning moment, you know, a lesson, because you said something, well, a couple of things, but you said, I got up early, you know, the teacher opened the band room and I got in there early and I was practicing. Right. I mean, so you're looking at two individuals who are successful in their gifting, me in sports, you in music, right? I used to run to the high school, right? In the morning, I used to run up to the high school when you could shower, take a shower, go to class, right? So what you're saying is important. Number one, there's a sacrifice, right? And I'll never forget Mr. Jones when I was up like 6 o'clock. He had me ask me if I would come to train at 6 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning. And I remember meeting him there. And you know, he used to say to me, "Where's your enemy? What do you think they're doing now? What do you think your competition is doing now?" I said, "They're probably asleep." He said, "Right. That's why you're going to be better than them, because you're willing to make the sacrifice." And what you said was very powerful about the importance of practice, right? And repetition. So I hope y'all heard that out there. I mean, for parents who are looking in the future for your kids to be successful, you're looking to be successful. If you don't practice, if there's no repetition, if there's no sacrifice, it's the dedication, determination, and discipline, right? It's going to be very hard to be successful. So you just heard, we just gave you, Mike just dropped a dime. You remember Damian Lillard was doing a little commercial dropping dimes?
Yeah, dropping dimes.
Yeah, you just dropped the dime, right? And I hope that somebody picked that dime up and apply it to their life. You mentioned something earlier, and one thing we discussed on the show is, how important is faith? How important faith in your life and family?
It's important. I mean, it's a fundamental foundation of what you believe in, how you go about getting it. When things don't happen, the support that you can fall back on when your family is like, you can go out there and get it. We support you. We love you. That's all important. Like, ain't nobody out here getting greatness on their own without no infrastructure. I mean, and if they're selling it to you like that, it's false. You're going to have a support system. You're going to have family. You're going to have, unwavering faith that comes with your belief in God and the confidence you have in those things that you can will to fruition because you have the faith to believe that they will come to pass. So meanwhile, you're working and practicing. I always say, practice is one thing. But if you're not dedicated, you're just put it this way. Some people are gifted. They're just gifted. It is what it is. Gifting is a gift, and it sets up an unfair advantage when you're gifted. But guess what? This is where everybody goes wrong. You cannot use your gift as a crutch for being unprepared.
I like that.
Can't. Like, so you're sitting around here. The gift isn't something that you don't lean on. The gift is the icing on the cake of your hard work that should exist.
Wow.
The gift is the cake. The gift is the icing. Your work is the cake. And a lot of people, what they're doing is they got two crutches and they're limping, and the only thing that's holding them up is the gift.
Right.
So as gifted as I am, I want my hard work to overshadow my gift.
Man, that's
so
great.
that when you put it all together, you can only be phenomenal.
Yeah. And I know you got to get off soon, and I got a couple of pop-up guests to ask you a couple of questions.
Charlie, you crazy.
He said you're gonna be a pastor. If we missed any questions, could you pop them back up real quick? And we want to pop on one of our, I think we have two guests. We got Cal Nimhart, Ron Nimhart. Want to pop them on if they're here. There go Cal.
Yo, what up?
What's up?
Chilling.
Cal. There's Ron, there's his dad.
Ron, what up, Ron?
How you doing, Mike?
Yo, love, man. Everything is good.
Yeah, you remember Ron? Do you remember Ron?
Yeah. I was gonna tell Mike. I was listening a couple of days ago to. Let me turn this other one thing off. I love the arrangements you did on What a Fool Believes.
Oh, thank you, man.
Oh man, I didn't expect that. You blew my mind with that.
And you know what? When doing the cover, because the album pulling off the covers, you want to push the things forward, so the imagination, but you don't want to go too far where it's like, what song is that? I don't even recognize. It's really a tough balance to push this song and give it some different colors.
Yes.
Without like just taking a whole bunch of colors and just going like that, and then like a first grader just doing a bad job in the coloring book. I just wanted to put some different things on it, but keep the integrity of the song. And I tell you, like when I got in the middle of those songs, I'm like, man, this is a tough balance, but I'm happy that it came out the way.
The video supported it.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah. I mean,
and Ron is from Mount Vernon. We went to we started out the North Side Boys Club. Ron was the and on the South Side, right? The game room director.
But I was young. Let's not carry. Don't make it sound like I was 90 years old. Okay?
You hear him trying to sneak dish you, right?
I already call him the old man. I call him up and say, "What's up, old man?" And so Ron's a gifted guitarist, right? Came out of the Boys and Girls Club, and his son Kyle, who I had the opportunity to work with, at the Boys Club in basketball. Now married, he got his own family. Ron's grandfather, and Cal's a father, and Cal's a gifted. I think you play the saxophone, right?
Yes, sir.
That's what's up. Welcome to the Woodland family, son.
I'm in the presence of legends right now, so
stop it.
And every time we used to have some events at the Boys and Girls Club, Cal used to come and play. And I know, Mike, I'm sure you got your sax somewhere around there, man. It's impossible. I've never been somewhere with you, Mike, that you didn't, even if we was going to play golf, let me go get my sax. It was in the car, it was in the bag, it was somewhere, right? I know you got your sax with you, man.
look, my sax is in the case, man. Like, why would you put me on the spot like that?
Well,
you knew that was coming, Mike. I mean, that's
because I put Ron on the spot. I'm sure he got his guitar with him, and I'm sure Cal got his sax.
Why are you trying to compare me to other people, though?
Hey, I just know you guys are passionate about music, and we need to continue to grow music, right? We need to continue to support music. Look at that. Look.
Uh-oh.
Right. There go Kyle. He got his. I don't know if y'all want to hit something, Mike. I mean, you know, and then you can jump off, and I can talk to these guys the rest of it.
With audio, we probably won't be able to play at the same time because you know, this format cancels audio out.
So that's right. So somebody who's gonna go first. Oh, go ahead, Mike. You on?
I think if somebody got to turn down their speakers if they have them on.
Or we can mute.
There you go. Everybody muted. Look at that. So again, like a lot of people get into like songs and getting everybody excited. The one thing that gets me excited as a musician, being able to play something that I haven't been able to play before and something that's going to help my technical facility. So the version of sitting there and just hitting free throws, I do that all day if I'm playing. So if I'm so that's very important. See, so I think we live in a society now where you want to show your 30 seconds and you put it on the gram and everybody's going crazy. But man, I love to practice things that are going to help my technical facility. And I like to go backwards. I always say, and I say this to kids, I say this to adults that don't get it. You want to be fascinated with the root of the tree and not the leaves. What's the root of our culture? Coltrane, Sonny Stitt, Sonny Rollins, Ornette Coleman, Pharoah Sanders, Ella Fitzgerald, Sarah Vaughan, Nancy Wilson, Charlie Parker. So that's the root. So everything goes from there. So the leaves are a product of the root. But if you don't got that, then what you're doing is that you're fascinated about something that's about to wither away and change anyway when the storm comes. We're so fascinated with the leaves on the tree that the root is where all the meat is. So like, just for instance, I got, as a sax player, you got to be able to get in the train and giant stuff like See, so I love R&B and I love funk, but man, all of this came from the Negro spiritual, and we got to take the same path that the culture and the music taught us. So I listen to gospel music right now, contemporary gospel music. The music that's selling now sounds like a Downy fabric softener commercial. Guess why? Because the thing that was the pain, the blues, there's some people that can't sing that because that's not a part of their cultural body of work. So what do you do? You gentrify the music by taking out the things that they can't do. Like, I want to hear Mahalia Jackson. I want to feel that. When the Negro spiritual happened, it branched off into two ways. If we're going to talk about the root, it went gospel, which is God is going to make a way, and it went to the blues. I don't know what I'm going to do, but you hear that pain. So when you look at music that's systematically changed over time, it's definitely what I call sonic gentrification. And we get into that and we stop admiring our own culture, because what's commercially accepted, it is certain aspects that can't be done culturally to be taken out. And gospel music right now, the music that's selling is like 3 chords and it sounds like rock music. So the Milton Brunson, the Thompson Community Choir, the things that used to hear that had that I feel no way tired, that's not coming up in new gospel anymore. And it's extremely strategic and intentional. So we can't let commercial tendencies to take us away from the root of the music. So that's why I'm going to always preach Coltrane. And then when you get there, then you can hit the but that all comes from the Negro spiritual. And it's like the Dove Awards got a syringe of the new music that they want out and they stuck it to every black person. And now everybody's singing the same. And we can't let our culture just go down the drains musically because someone handed us a stack of money and telling us this is the way the music is going to go now. So I didn't want to get on no diatribe, you know me, when I'm extremely passionate when it comes to the music. I look at some of the smooth jazz artists where we like to take, okay, well, I'm smooth and I'm this and I'm that, but let me get Boney James with some young fellas and let them start playing some swing. He's not connected to the root. But we steady out here giving out black cards and not going through the rites of passage. Charlie Parker had to go through the rites of passage. He played when he was a little youngin'. He played, and they kicked him out the club. And they said, you need to go back home and learn these changes. One of the greatest jazz musicians of all time, he was made from a culturally accountable moment where they kicked him out the club and his horn. They said, you need to go back and learn this. So as a culture, one of our most precious commodities is the root of understanding the root. Because if we don't understand the root, then somebody will come along and be like, and then we out here giving them black cards because we don't understand our own culture and haven't set up the rites of passage to be like, yo, that's whack, or that's not going to be what we consider a part of the root. So my whole point is understand the root, understand the stories behind the root, and make sure that we generationally hand them down. So we're not looking in history books and listening to music and
celebrating the pioneer that fraudulently got a black card.
Mm.
I mean, I keep it 100.
Yeah, that's true.
There's some young brothers out here that are playing their behinds off that you don't even know, because we're so into handing people that don't look like us these cards. Our culture is precious.
Right. Yeah.
So I tell all the musicians, just the root. Dizzy Gillespie, know about, and not even just know the stories. Let's study Quincy, Satchmo. It's just so much culture that if I ask little 16-year-old who Louis Armstrong is, I can be safe to say, depending on who I ask and where I ask, that 30% of it will know. That's too powerful of a culture for 30% of the kids to know who Louis Armstrong is. So,
yeah, they don't.
Yeah, but you know what though? Whose fault is it? It's our fault, the previous generation, for not going hard and making sure that the rites of passage to their existence is understanding the root of our culture that we should teach them.
Right.
So we can sit up here and say, yeah, you know what? They don't know, but it is our fault. It's so funny. I live in Portland, Oregon, and they march out here all the time.
Yes, they do.
They march for anything, like so let me tell you. So they had Occupy Wall Street, and 3 months after Occupy Wall Street was over, they were still out here marching. Occupy Wall Street, so they gonna take up any cause. So I went outside because they was gathering close to my crib, and I said, "Hey, have y'all seen Emmett Till?" It was like, "Emmett, I think he's back there." Like, word. So y'all just gentrified the movement, and you don't even know who Emmett Till is.
Wow.
And that's what I'm saying. In our culture, that's just an example. But why are we walking and doing stuff and not knowing stuff? It can't both exist that way.
Right.
So for you to be marching, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. I said, yo, man, you know who Emmett Till is? Like, nah, I don't know who he is. Have you seen him? I think he was in 7-Eleven.
Oh my God.
But I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Like, we're giving people, there's no rites of passage no more. Everybody's just doing what they want without understanding the cultural significance of the root that is so important. So we can move that to issues as it pertains to equality. We can do it now. Let me give you an opposite example. I could sit up here and ask Eminem everything about African Bambaataa culture, Kool Herc, the Furious Five. He gonna answer all them questions. You know why? Because he went through the rites of passage, and he'll grab a mic and spit harder than some of these MCs that are out here. So it's not a color issue. It's a cultural respect issue of understanding the shoulders that you stand on and what you are in the midst of while you're making money off of the people who sacrifice so much.
Wow. Mike, you don't gave us a lesson. And
I'm good. No more.
Yeah. I don't know if Kyle and Ron has a
I'm just having fun, y'all.
Yeah. It's funny. Like, actually, a second question popped up in my head. The second question actually was, do you still give lessons?
No, I'll just Emma is a great example. Yeah, I don't know about lessons, but I'll just show you a couple things I know. I don't really count that as a lesson. It's just a great teacher. A great teacher has the ability to disseminate information where it's absorbed easily. I don't think I'm that dude. I could just show you something, but man.
I could appreciate that, because I've had a couple people ask if I do lessons just to get them started, and I've been very hesitant to do that because I just feel like I'm not anywhere near there, because some people can do and others can teach.
But I can show you something, but all that teaching stuff, you're gonna have to know it or learn it or not. So yeah, and then teachers, and that's why teachers are so important, because it's a special gift to correctly disseminate information. Just because you know it, that don't mean nothing. Yeah, I'm just one of them. I'm just one of them know it dudes that is very limited in how I can get you to understand what I know. So that's why I don't really teach. I just show people.
So let's see if you guys, Ron, you got something quick. You guys,
yeah. I can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
You had Steinberger. I had Carl Steinberger in high school. He's a band instructor.
Yes, that's it.
And forever indebted to this guy. Now, but I was playing drums then, but see, he got you to do everything and understand it. And I was reading. I stopped reading after that because he was very strict and stuff. Wow, he wearing me out. Then he got into the jazz band and everything. All of a sudden, I switched to guitar, but he got me there to the point where I'm not afraid. I don't read, but I can follow it. But I know how to follow because he got it. He's very good. And I heard you mention that name.
Yeah, Dr. Steinberger with that too. I always wanted to pull off that toupee.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yes. Yo, and I see him sweating sometimes. He used to sweat, and I said, "Good, go wipe it off.
And we had this bet that I never came through it. That was like, "Yo, Mike, man, before you graduate, man, you need to pull off his toupee just one time." I never did it.
No.
Yeah, I remember him too.
That was nice. Dr. Steinberger was one of
them. Yeah, I remember him.
That was a nice guy.
I was no band guy, but the band was bad. Let me tell you something.
Of course.
All the music stuff in Mount Vernon was bad.
Dr. Randall, Miss Randall.
Dr. Randall, yes.
Yeah.
Thomas, Mr. Guardiac. It was, let me tell you, Mount Vernon, the band culture was right up there with basketball culture. It was.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, Tommy Hill, John Guardiac. I remember. Yeah, I was in the band with those guys.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Tommy on the piano. Oh yeah. So you got to be around those people. John Bosco. All these guys. You just got to absorb everything they had to give. So it was great.
Yeah. So I'm gonna want you guys to be to the place. I'm trying to get a surprise on here for Mike before he jump off.
Man, because I got to jump off right now. Kids is like hungry. We gotta get something to eat. We gotta bounce.
I was trying to get Charlie to jump on here real quick.
Charlie's phone ain't working.
He probably burned his batteries out.
Yeah, I saw him I saw you try to bring him in. That joint was like still connecting. Like.
He said, I gotta get on Wi-Fi. I said, you should have been on Wi-Fi.
Yeah, Charlie, T-Mobile just took over Sprint. So we ain't got no excuse for those. T-Mobile 5G now.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to say before you go that I appreciate you sending me the stuff ahead of time. I listen everything you said. I'll listen to.
Oh,
and the
man.
stuff is hot, man. I mean, it's just
shoot, Charlie build it.
There you go, right there.
Shout
right.
Man.
Yo, what up?
Yo, chilling, man. What's good?
Nothing, man. It's good to see you, bro.
It's good to see you. So let me tell you something which was so crazy. So it was always, how can I put it? It was always a pull for him to love God, teach music, be the music director at the church, and then still love Michael Jackson. And it was always like, okay, well, is this an oxymoron? It's a different thing. So seriously, like I never knew that I would ever even come in contact with Michael. But my level of really understanding how instrumental he was through Charlie. We call him Chuck. Yo, he exposed us to so much. PYT,
just the music. So as a youngin, he kept on drilling this into us. It's like, yo, I love God and I'm playing for this church, but this right here, music,
right.
And it was hard for us to fathom because church had these blinders on us, like, okay, well, it's gospel, and,
right.
And then Chuck was one of the first, I tell you, the first open-minded thinking musical person in the church that I've met.
Wow.
And I didn't realize it until you retrospectively go back and think about all the times where we was up there singing "Jesus is real." Also, PYT.
Yeah, right. But Mike, listen, man. That gave me so many memories because I remember you used to just jump up and start singing in the tennis section with your sax. I'm like, how is he gonna play and sing at the same time?
Man, listen, I do them notes. I was going back and forth, and then get me a little solo in and go.
Right. Yo, listen, man. I appreciate all the accolades, man. But you know what? I don't think people. What was back in Michael Jackson was Quincy Jones's genius, and how he was able to lay it a certain way musically. Where like when I don't know if anybody ever listened to "Don't Stop Till You Get Enough." At the end, when there's no singing, it's just music.
Yo,
bro,
I wish you could have. If there was one person in the room with me, I could have summoned you. So when we did the Cirque du Soleil show, we had access to every last master recording.
Wow.
Yo, Chuck.
Whoa.
They had a security guard next to the hard drive.
Wow.
I can solo anything I wanted to hear.
Wow.
I mean, yo,
that's crazy.
You talk about a treasure trove of just absorb, and they're looking at you, so you can't have no thumb drives.
Right.
Let me just drive.
Can't steal
back.
that, bro.
That security guard was big, and they had that joint chained to the joint. And when we was programming the Cirque du Soleil show, we had access to all of that.
Yeah.
So imagine you soloing one part and just hearing his vocal alone.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear all the things. It was like a drum inside of his soul.
The stuff that he did, that he didn't use Pro Tools. He would go create the sound that he wanted and record it.
No, exactly.
That's just the amazing thing. Because I remember Darkchild when he worked and he talked about just work with Mike, and he said he didn't want to use the Pro Tools. He wanted to go break a bottle on the sidewalk. On the corner, and put it in. Like nobody was doing that kind of stuff, But Mike, I want to say this, man. You was really hitting on something when you were talking about the new praise and worship that's out there now, because it's basically 3 chords. You know what I mean? And it does not, what it does, and I think it's purposeful, what it does is just put actual lyrics that only reference Jesus Christ, but it's absent of the feeling of knowing that through my struggle, I know that Jesus Christ is going to get me out. And one thing that Elder Moore, Mosmore, and Patrice can tell you that one thing I've always done in Emmanuel as a musician, I never went away from the old stuff. I used to love the choirs and stuff. When they started merging to this praise team and stuff like that, I was like, we did it because that's what everybody was doing. But I love the choir, like the Emmanuel choir. Mike, Emmanuel choir was like.
I know. I was there for. Well, I was there.
It was a bomb digger, and it's just great, man. But
he was rocking hard in '87.
right.
Well, I'm gonna have to connect you two guys, so y'all can holler at each other.
No,
Mike got to go feed the kids.
Platform, Lowe's,
right? And we're gonna close with Ron and Kyle. We're gonna have them play something. Mike, thank you. I'm gonna hook you up with Charlie's number.
Yo, Chuck, I love you, man.
I love you too,
man. Love you, man.
I'm gonna hook you up with Charlie's number.
I was blessed. Let me just tell you this one thing.
Let him say this for real.
I was blessed when I got the CD and I started playing the song Behind the Mask, and I looked at the lyric, the information on the song, and saw that you was the person playing it.
Man, that was my. I got, and we got to talk about some stories about Behind the Mask too.
And listen, let get my number from Los.
All right,
let's talk, bro. I love you, man.
Love you, man, too.
All right.
Later. All right, Chuck. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you, Mike. Thanks. Keep it going, man. Go feed the children.
All right, later, y'all.
All right, man.
Later, Mike.
So Ron and Kyle,
What you put it on the spot
for me? I know I seen your guitar, seen his sax,
but without any.
I'm even gonna have you go after that.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. Come on.
Put the master on it. Come on, children.
You by yourself. Me and Charlie gonna mute ourselves so y'all can do your thing. I know y'all got a father and son thing going on here.
Oh, yeah, you know background. Unless I can think of Maputo, I don't know. How's Maputo for you?
Can y'all do it together?
We're gonna see. Like Mike said, it's difficult because we can't really feed off, but we can. Can you hear me?
I can hear
you. I'm just curious about the timing. Like if I'm going to hear the timing right.
Okay, so
I'll follow you.
Ron, you go. Let Kyle do something, and then Ron, you come in and do something next.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, go ahead, Kyle. We're gonna mute ourselves. Ron gonna mute us. Wow. All right, Ron, jump on there, man. Jump on there. I know you. Let's get them fingers work, man. Come on. Wow,
that's hard to do. Woo.
Man, I wanna thank you guys, man. Look. I want to thank you guys, man. I mean, I truly, genuinely love music. Of course, you know I love gospel, R&B, jazz. I mean, for years I used to listen. You know, one of the things that helped me relax in my car was listening to the opera. I mean, I don't know if y'all knew that now, but I love to listen to opera and all the, you know, the harmony, the connectedness of so again, I want to thank you. We're coming to the close of the show. I want to thank everybody for your support each and every week. Man, I look forward to next week's show. Guys, thank you. Take the time out of your busy schedule and coming on. I love you guys, man. Hey, if you're out there, please support music and please support artists like this. And make sure you pick up Mike Phillips, you know, new album. You know, that thing is amazing. All his work is amazing, and I love you guys. God bless you, and I will see you guys next.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having us on, brother.
All right, take care.
You guys can stay on for a minute. Just stay on for a minute. We're gonna close out.
We really hope you enjoyed this episode of Lowe's More, the BluePrint podcast. Stay connected and follow us at our website, www.lowesmore.com. That's LOWESMOORE.com. You can also join the discussion on Twitter at Lowe's More and on Facebook at Lowe's More Jr. As always, thank you for pushing your mindset towards a better reality. This concludes the most thought-provoking portion of your day. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this podcast to stay fully up to date with everything we're up to. Until next time, be kind to yourself and each other.
What they teaching is a joke. I ain't buying it like I'm broke. Insufficient funds for insignificant.